All right, so the first one I'm going to show you guys how to make again, and this is just I'm found reference on the internet, but I found these two light poles. I think that are ones I like and the shapes, and I've done a 3D model of them to test it out. I really like the squared cubed one first. It kind of reminds you of like something you'd see like in a mid-century, England town, or um, you definitely would see it at a lot of theme parks because especially when they have medieval towns and stuff, which like Enchant Forest has that Jolly Roger area. So first things first, I'm going to start with a cube. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to use this. I'm going to make a shape that I'm going to use twice. So the first shape I'm going to make is the bottom of the glass, I guess, light. So I'm going to go to face mode, and I'm just going to do this really easy and simple. But again, I'm trying to make almost a cubed off triangle. So I'm going to go to the top. I'm just going to press R, and I'm not extruding or anything. I'm just using the scale tool to try to get that shape. So it's like I'm starting to get that, shape. Now, if you look back at the reference I have, it's a little bit longer. So again, I can just click on the top face and pull it up, or I could just go to the bottom face and pull it down. It doesn't, whatever's most comfortable, but I wanted to get that shape of that glass. Now, again, I'm always about trying to work easier, make things faster. So this top piece is pretty much the same shape reversed. So I am just actually just going to go back to object mode, and I'm just going to hold shift and duplicate it. And I'm going to press R for scale, and I'm going to reverse itself on itself. So again, I'll do that one more time. I'm going to hold shift and clone it, press R, and reverse it. Now, if you look at the reference, it's a little bit bigger on the top where it overhangs. So I'm just going to use my scale tool and just make it a little bit thicker and a little bit longer so it matches that reference. So again, you look up top, it's a little bit flatter, but it's a little bit bigger. So I'm going to make it a little bigger, a little bit flatter. Now, I believe if we look at the reference again, it does come to more of a point. So you go back to face mode, press R, and you can just scale inward too. So we got a big chunk of it right there. You could just color this glass, color that black, and be like, and then put a pull on it. I mean, that's very basic. Again, I'm all about trying to add more detail to this. So to get that frame around this, you could either use cubes and try to line up the cubes and take forever to build around it, or my recommendation is using the insert edge loop. So with the insert edge loop, I can cut the bottom, so where the glass frame is on the bottom, and then I can cut the edges of where it is on the glass. So again, one more time, I'm going to go to Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop, and then I'm going to make the bottom piece first, and then I'm just going to drag and select a little bit to get that frame. You want to try to make sure you get all four sides of it there. So now if you rotate around, you can see that it cut all the edges. So I need to switch out of that cut tool, otherwise it's going to keep cutting. So now I can go to face mode, and I can extrude these edges I just made. So I'm going to go ahead and hold shift and select all the edges, rotate around. Because we're going to extrude this out to make it three-dimensional. So again, I can press R, hold shift to extrude, and I can pull outward, and you guys can see it's framing it. Now I'm also going to have to resize this, and that's fine. But you guys can see it scaled around it. So I'll go again, hold shift, again, extrudes around it. So it gets you that shape we're looking for around the glass. So again, now I go back to object mode, and I can scale this and bring this up. Or I could scale this down, the whole object combination. So what's cool now is you got that 3 dimensions that you want for that lamp. Now, I'm going to make it super easy for you guys. Let's make it black. So again, I'm going to go to assign to material. I'm going to use a blend. I'm going to click black. So blends again are shiny, so they'll have a reflection to it. Now, make your life easier, make this black too. Now make sure you name your stuff. I didn't name it, so if I name this black so I know that blend 2 or blend 1 is black. I'll know if to put it on here, assign existing material, I'll know that's black. So you're like, well, we need to color that glass. Again, if you guys don't know, you guys can texture faces too. So I can hold shift, rotate around and select the big pieces now. It's a lot easier than going around and selecting all the little pieces. And assign new material. So assign new material. I'm gonna go ahead and make another blend because I want that glass to be reflective. Now, guys, you can just make it reflective and then make whatever color light you want that lamp to be. Like if you're doing it daytime, you might want to make it like orange or blue. But again, what I'm going to do on this case is I'm going to make it a little bit transparent too to make it look like glass. So again, I'm going to name this glass. And then the reference has it be blue, but you don't have to. You can do orange, yellow. And again, you can bring down the color so it's not in your face and you have a nice glass lamp. Now again, if we look at that reference, it has a little top piece, which is just a cylinder, and then cylinders holding it in place. So I'm gonna make a cylinder pole. Press the scale tool. I'm just gonna thin it out until I get to the thinness that I want for the pole itself. Now, you do need a little, there's like a little connector piece. If we look at the reference again, there's a little connector piece where it has the light switch and it also plugs into the pole. So again, always work easier on yourself. So first I'm going to assign this black material, make it, and then watch this. I'm just going to hold shift, pull up and duplicate it. I'm just going to scale it down so it fits to where I want it to be to the reference. And then I'm just going to scale it up a little bit. So now I have that nice little piece holding it up. And then again, I'm going to duplicate this again for the little button. So now I'm just going to rotate it, scale it down, maybe stretch it out, and put it on there. So you get the nice little button. And then I'm going to duplicate this bottom piece one more time for where it's going to hold the base. So again, I'm all about using shapes over and over again, guys, to make your models faster and easier to accomplish. So lastly, again, these are all different shapes. You know, we have all these different shapes. I want to combine this into one asset. I want to make this my lamp. So I'm going to select everything. I'm going to go mesh, combine. Now it's one. I'm going to name this lamp. And then after you do that, you want to make sure you delete history so that all those old shapes that don't need them anymore are not taking up memory on your computer. Because when, again, we take this into a rendering system or another scene, you want to be able to just have the lamp. You don't need all the shapes that don't exist. And then once you make that lamp, then you can hold shift and duplicate that lamp with all the textures and use it throughout your scene.